So an Iranian dissident has been murdered in Toronto, and this isn't the first story that I've heard like this in the last few years. This actually has happened before. Now, the police, of course, have not been able to connect the murders back to Iran, but I decided to focus on this story today because I'll just be honest. I knew Mehdi Amin, the man who was murdered. I won't say he's best friends of mine. I met him 2 years ago, and he was always a very kind, soft-spoken, well-liked, intelligent man. And take this with love, Iranian community. Mehdi Amin being a well-liked man by all the people sort of inside the movement is very, very, very rare. That community is very fractious. I have a joke that it's not really an Iranian event until 3 microphones are going off at the same time. So for Mehdi to be a man that was so well-liked and respected, within a political movement like that, I just find it really unlikely that he would be a man that someone would want to murder, but he was, which is why I think it's reasonable to look at, was this an extrajudicial assassination of a political opponent by the Iranian regime in Canada? And I think that's a very appropriate question to ask. So in honor of Mehdi, who, personal story, I mean, he'd be one of the guys who would text me or send me an email when things would be going on, and I always liked Mehdi because sometimes I would get a lot of these mass Iranian Persian messages to the community. I'd be on these lists, and they sometimes just all be in Farsi. But Mehdi was one of the few people who, when I'd say sorry, I don't understand this, he would apologize and then retype his Farsi message into English for me. So I knew what he was telling everyone. So that's the type of guy he was. Just a really kind person who was very, very active in the push for human rights in Iran, in Canada. And Mehdi is the type of people that we want in our country. People who escaped a brutal regime, who fight for human rights, both in Iran, pushing against the Islamic Republic of Iran. But he was also involved in the Canadian human rights scene too. I mean, he fought against bills that that he saw that would make Canada more like Iran. Like, of course, you have the designation of the IRGC, but he also he was there and part of the anti-M103 motions as well. So just a really, really good guy. And I'm going to dedicate today to sort of Iranian Human Rights Day because I believe that's what Mehdi would want. I mean, again, I'm not his closest friend. I was on some of his text messaging lists for important issues. So today I'll be posting different videos I've done about Iran. I'll let you know some stuff about the Islamic Republic. So one, if you want to do Mehdi a favor, this is what I've learned time with Iranians, don't call it Iran, the government. They hate that. Call it the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic is the government that has hijacked Iran. And to an extent, that's true. I mean, Iran and Persia has great culture. I mean, Cyrus the Great, Darius, Xerxes, it's not exactly like the 300 movies, but the great civilizations, or one of the great civilizations in world history. And the Islamic Republic says Iranian history starts in 1978. So the Ayatollahs and their boys say, no, there is no Iran. It's all the Islamic Republic. All that great history, it's dead. It's not really Iranian culture. So they're totalitarian, evil theocrats. So, if you can, do one for Mehdi, just know the difference between those. The Islamic Republic currently has the highest rates of executions in the world. They're second most behind China in raw total, but they have less people, so most per capita. But they do execute most children, both in a per capita and aggregate level. So that's where the Islamic Republic is excelling in. They're also pretty good at threatening to blow up different countries in the middle of the UN. That's another thing the Islamic Republic excels at. So over today, I'll post some videos on what we did and how the Islamic Republic works. Different things that we could do. If you want to do something nice for Mehdi, I mean, write your MP about it. Ask why he hasn't declared the IRGC a terrorist organization in Canada yet. That would be another great thing to sort of honor his memory. And yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna leave it here. It sucks. He was a really kind individual, always nice to me. I never met anyone who really had a negative thing to say about Mehdi, especially in such a contentious, volatile, active community. To be so well liked was really an accomplishment and a testament to his character. And may he rest in peace.